This is day 4 of me tracking my meals, exercise, and water. I'm also going to be talking about triggers. Just remember, always consult your physician, your medical team about any changes that you make.
My vibes are true, healthy and whole. Dogmas with low carb queen.
Shout out to Miss Toy. Earrings by JC. Top by Miss Toy, the review. Thank you. Okay, guys, so I didn't eat any breakfast this morning. Number one, because I had such a bad day yesterday. And number two, because I was running late. So I get to work, I fill up my Stanley cup. I had put some lemon in it. And so this is around lunchtime, around 12:30. I have finished my first 40 ounces of the Stanley cup. All right, this is my lunch or dinner or whatever. This is my first meal of the day. I didn't do too well yesterday, if you saw that video, but yeah, so I'm trying to clean up my act today. Something is going on with my knees. So we'll talk about that a little later, but yeah, this is my lunch. Okay, guys, this is my dinner for the night. It's sushi and yeah, shrimp sushi. So yeah, we'll talk about it. I had boom chicka pop, kettle popcorn. So I chose popcorn over chips so that it would definitely be a healthier snack. I did buy some more turtles, you guys. Don't judge me. I had 5 of these today. Okay, guys, so like I said previously, 2 of these amounts to 19 carbs. It's not too bad, but you know, I'm not going to pretend like it's something that's good for you. It's just, it's a bit of a struggle trying to satisfy my cravings with something sweet, good, and healthy, especially around the holidays. So even though I skipped breakfast and ate, at around 3:30, I still started out pretty good. My protein was at 46 grams, and my carbs were, 0 to none. But then there's the snacking. Along with this meal, I did have 3 turtles, and I was snacking on the popcorn before I got home to make the tuna. But even in that, my carbs were only up to 49 and my protein was at 53. I do recognize that it is important to have readily available snacks so that, you won't go off on the deep end with things that you like but are not necessarily good for you. So it's definitely a process. And then, of course, the sushi, even though it has protein from the shrimp, because of the rice, it's going to take the carbs up. But if you look at this as a meal, then eating 25 to 30 carbs per meal, it wasn't so bad. Well, I forgot about the carbs on the crunchy onions. So that definitely takes us up to about 46 carbs, somewhere along in there for that meal. And that's a little high for one meal. So overall, I did much better today, being Thursday, than I did the day before, Wednesday. And if you look at my carbs, even though they were at 157, if I subtract the fiber and just do the net carbs, then that will put me at 144, which was not that bad compared to my goal of 139. Now, like I said, I don't usually try to reach my carb goal, but at least I know that I have that to play with. Protein, still trying to get that to 100 grams of protein a day. And even though I don't count calories, I did so much better today, even with the snacking, than I did yesterday when it came to the calories. Hey guys, if you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for watching, especially to my new viewers. I appreciate you, and new subscribers. And of course, my ride or dies, I just love y'all. GLP1 community is great. So I wanted to take a moment to talk about triggers. Again, this is not an excuse, but it is it's a reflection. It empowers us to reflect and to get these revelations about ourselves and who we are and what we do and how we do it. I mentioned previously that, I started binge eating with the chips and stuff, and part of it was because I was being triggered. So triggers, and I pulled it right up here on AI. So a stimulus, person, place, event, or feeling that causes an intense, often overwhelming emotional or physical reaction, especially for those with past trauma, connecting them back to that painful experience, okay? And that can be through flashbacks, intense fear, or other symptoms. When we have different triggers, it affects us emotionally. That's my take on it for me. And so one of the things is, some of you know, I just wanted to share this part with y'all. So some of y'all know that my husband, Tony, is in a nursing home. He's in a nursing home, and this is something that we've talked about. I have videos about it. I just haven't posted all the videos. And I know some of you, I shared some of the couples videos that I had over on my other channel. And I know some of y'all, some people, let me put it that way, was probably like, what? Is that her husband? Oh my gosh. But hey guys, it's Kim and
hello.
Tony. How y'all doing? Cause he was looking pretty rough in some of the videos. It is the outcome of the lifestyle that he had. He was an alcoholic, a severe alcoholic. And like I said, this is not anything that he and I have not talked about. And so, he's comfortable with me sharing it. But yeah, so his alcoholism caused severe memory loss. I mean, it just happened. I'm not going to go into detail about how that came about. But yeah, his severe alcoholism just caused something called Korsakoff syndrome, which is a lack of vitamin B. And a lack of vitamin B can cause memory loss. His long-term memory is there, but his short-term memory is not. I call it Groundhog Day if you've ever seen the movie. Because, for a long time, he would ask me the same questions over and over again. So it has affected him to the point where, and we know alcoholism is a disease, but it has affected him to the point where he cannot function so far successfully in society because he always wants to drink. And so it brings him back to, a facility where he has to be rehabilitated and recover. This is the third facility for him. So for me, that means 3 times he has been out and tried to function without drinking and has not been able to, and subsequently has relapsed and has ended up having to go back into another facility. He is in there for long-term care. And not only has it affected him psychologically, but it has also affected him physically. And so I'm not going to get into to that, but it can be very disheartening. He and I have struggled in this relationship because initially I knew that he was a social drinker. I did not know that he was drank to the severity that he did. He hid it from me. And so subsequently, after we got married, it started to reveal itself, and it was very shocking and very scary. And so, and he is a nice person. He is a decent person. When I tell you alcoholism, when it says wine and spirits, is real, because people become completely different when they drink. Some people, I can't speak for all people. Now, mind you, this is my second marriage. My first marriage lasted 30 plus years. So, that was my childhood sweetheart. So I knew nothing about this topic, okay? I was green. When I say green, completely green, okay? But in any event, I said all that to get to this point. Tony calls me sometimes once or twice a week, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. It just depends. In this last episode, we have gone through a tremendous amount of trauma. But in any event, he calls me. And so sometimes when he calls me, he is totally and completely himself. He'll, call and say, "Hi, how you doing? I just want you to know that I miss you. I love you. I know that I brought this up on myself. I'm adjusting. And I just want to tell you that I love you. And I'm sorry," and yada, yada, yada. He'll go into that. And it breaks my heart. I am older than Tony. And it just is just a sad situation. I try to stay positive. I don't like to talk about it a lot because it makes me emotional, but it is a difficult and sad situation. Previously I would pick him up, take him out a lot. I didn't do that a lot this year. I didn't do it a lot at all this year, for a number of reasons. But in any event, then sometimes, so he called me. This was one of the weeks that he was calling me. And it brought up emotions, and it triggered me. And so, and even when he called me, like I said, he was himself, and I was just like, "I'm sorry that, this has happened to you." And, he was like, "I miss when you used to come and take me out. We used to go and hang out and yada, yada, yada." I said, "Yeah." I said, "But and understand the situation." And he was like, "Yes, it's my fault, blah, blah, blah. And I'm so sorry." So then later on that evening, he calls me again. And when he calls me again, he's not himself. Okay, he is the Tony who has memory loss. And if you know anything about mental illness is the hardest thing for people to accept. And I'm not talking about the patient. I'm talking about the friends, the family members, all of that, because it's not anything that you can see. There are physiological differences when people experience mental illness. So it doesn't mean that it's just in the mind just because you can't see it. Now they have MRIs and things like that where they can see the physiological change in a person who has depression and a person who has schizophrenia. The levels of fluid and yada, yada, yada that's in the brain, and where different pressures and things are emphasized. So even though we may not know or understand or think, "Oh, you can just pray your way out," or you can just, just shake it off or whatever. That's not the case. That is not the case for mental illness. And then when people get on medication for mental illness, it can be compounded. Sometimes it can help them if they are willing to stick with the medication. It's just like anything else. Use it consistently, then it can help. But oftentimes, people aren't willing to do that. They feel better, they think they feel better, and they decide, "Oh, I don't want to take my medication anymore." I mean, can you imagine? I'm on high blood pressure, and absolutely, the high blood pressure medication can stay in your system for a few days. So if you miss it, you might get away with a day or two of not feeling any different. But if you continue like, "Oh, I feel better, I didn't take my medication today and I'm feeling good, yada, yada, yada." And if you a person decides to go a few days without it, and then all of a sudden they pop up with, God forbid, a stroke or something like that, it's because they have caused their emotions to override the facts of the matter. I believe in God, of course, y'all know that. I believe in healing, all of that. But I also know that Jesus had a physician on his team. His name was Luke. So there's a reason for everything. Nothing happens by coincidence. I said all of that to say, in this holiday season, of course, you want to be with your loved ones. And, I love my family. I love my girls. They are the best thing that's ever happened to me. They are wonderful, and I appreciate them even more as adults. But I do miss, if I say I don't miss my husband, that would be a lie, because I do miss him. I miss his spontaneity. I miss his humor. He was one of the few people that could get into my head intellectually. He's an avid reader, and so if you're able to do that, then that's a biggie for me. And so I appreciate that about him. But this thing that he has, it is a real thing, and it is heartbreaking, like I said, and it's something that, even though my emotions are involved, I cannot ignore. And so oftentimes, like I say, it just brings me to give me chips, give me candy, give me this, give me that. Can I soothe this pain that I'm feeling concerning him? And so subsequently, that's what happens. And then sometimes, you're sitting at the computer and you're just mindless munching, all of that is a part of it. And so I just wanted to share a little bit of that with you. It doesn't mean that every time I binge eat that I'm thinking about him or he's called me or anything like that. It doesn't mean that. Sometimes in the moment, it's a difficult situation. Guys, so I just wanted to share a little bit of that with you. I know that people probably snack and don't tell, or binge and don't share, and that's your prerogative, that's your privilege. You can do that, because we all are here at this journey because of food, and we know that the process of this journey is not easy. And if it was, we wouldn't have to use medication to lose weight. But I just chose to share this part of my journey with you so that you will not perhaps think that I am self-sabotaging, or do I really want to reach my goal, or whatever the case may be. I absolutely do. I can see Twonderland in my future, and I absolutely intend to get there. But, sometimes we have our moments. So, guys, que sera, sera. I just wanted to share that part with you. And y'all, listen, have a good day. Make sure your cup is half full and never half empty. And know that, every day is a new beginning. If you have a down moment or whatever, just, hey, if you want to indulge that moment, go ahead. But make sure you get rid of it and pick it back up the next day with positivity. All right? Low carb journey, low carb life with your low carb queen. And remember, every day it's a new beginning. Bye-bye.
The universe has known it all along. Maybe this is where our story starts.